Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the trading table. This is Andrew, and joined with me is Landon. And today we're going to be going over some of the biggest movers in the stock market, some plays to watch over the weekend, and more. Looking at our heat map here for the S&P 500, we can see that a lot of stocks finished green, which is very surprising because if we look at SPY, right, intraday we saw a level at 518, right, and we did have a bounce around 518, but that is a very, very major move for SPY of over. Let's see here. 1.19%. SPY then moved all the way back up 1.91, just call it 2%, back up to 527, and it's sitting there pretty calmly right now. Calls here down in this dip would have been insane. And if we zoom out to our 1 hour chart, we can see that, this 518.36 support has been very prevalent for SPY in the past few weeks, right? We have a bounce here. It kind of acted as a resistance here and then a support as it broke through. And then also this 523.23 level, right? We have a bounce here, kind of was acting like a resistance, some consolidation here. But these levels are pretty notable to watch. My next level is 534.23. So we'll reevaluate on Monday, maybe see if we can get another key level between 523 and 534, which I'm sure we can. But, SPY right now is just firing up. And, if we take a look at the VIX here, the VIX has been moving quite a bit recently. So yesterday, it peaked at 14.7, which isn't like very high, but it is high enough to beget some fear in the market. We had a peak today of 14.86 before an intense downtrend. And if you guys don't know what the VIX is, it's the volatility index for the S&P 500. So the lower this number is, the less volatility, less fear in the market. The higher this number is, there's a lot of fear, a lot of volatility in the market. And not a lot of investors are willing to, risk anything during this. Like if we go back out 5 years, we could see that COVID, the day COVID hit and everything started closing. We had a VIX of 85. And then when the market crashed in 2008, I had a VIX of 89. So 14, not a big deal, but for the short term, it can definitely affect a lot. We're back down to 1293 now, but SPY has just been having its day. So we'll see on Sunday. We'll reevaluate, of course, and see where we're going with SPY. PCE data came in today at 8:30, and as we can see at 8:30, there was a spike up. The PCE data was good. But, with data like that, you can't really, play. If you played calls here, you would have probably gotten screwed over. But, PCE data came in. The market liked it, but then there was just a sell-off. And that can be contributed to NVIDIA. I've been saying for a while, NVIDIA is a main driver of the market. And as we can see here, if we zoom out to the 5-day, NVIDIA has been kind of on a downtrend here, right? Since its peak at 1157. About 2 days ago. It's not very major downtrend, but it has had some, lows here, dropping all the way down to 1069, right? And then it did recover end of day, but NVIDIA just at all-time highs gets pretty volatile out here. So keep an eye on NVIDIA because when NVIDIA moves, SPY moves, and vice versa. Looking at our AAL big money play from a few days ago, right? It's been chopping around. It's been having trouble breaking 11, which is very, very surprising to me because all the news for AAL is just terrible, right? The only, good news I've seen is a buy by Citigroup, but, they cut their price target cut, declines more than market, right? Just a whole, a lot of bearishness going in for AAL. And I went over this in a few videos ago, but I'll throw up the open interest on the screen right now. And what the open interest is how many contracts are, with AAL. And as you can see, there's a lot more put contracts with AAL than call contracts. So most investors are bearish for AAL, and it's for a pretty good reason, right? They just have been on a very strong downtrend. So there's a lot of premiums going into AAL for, the bearish long-term and short-term. So AAL, I have it to the downside. Looking at KWEB here, KWEB was another one of our big money plays that we called. Definitely didn't have the best day today, but you know what? These expire. um, really late. I think the expiration is 10/18. The expiration here is 10/18, guys. So KWeb has a lot of time to it. So in the short term, if it's down, don't worry, right? Baba didn't have a great day today. That can contribute to why. And just China stocks in general didn't have the best day today, right? Like JD, big gap here, down in the pre-market. So not the best day for China stocks, but you know what? Not worried at all. Like I said, China is pumping their market full of money. So, we'll see these rise up. It's almost a guarantee. And, looking at KWeb's open interest, look at the amount of calls versus puts, right? So I'm really not worried about KWeb. We got a lot of time to it. So, we can see this start to come up in the next few weeks. I'm going to give it to you now. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, so today we didn't really get any big money plays because the VIX is so high. But just to review the past three from yesterday, for ticker symbol MRUS, to start the day, we did have around a 4.5% increase. If you're able to take profit there, that's beautiful. Following that, we then had an 8.5% decrease, which isn't what we like to see, but uh, the expiration for the contract is 7/19/2024, so I'm not too worried there. Um, and then moving on to our next one, we have ticker symbol SBUX or Starbucks. This contract actually did really well. This contract had around a 10% jump or $60 per contract. I'm really liking this one. Although aftermarket, it appears Starbucks director resigned. So that'll be interesting following that to see what the heck's going to go on there. And then following that, we have ticker symbol GS. To start the day, ticker symbol GS had a pretty good drop off, but the estimates for their earnings came out, and people are saying they're gonna blow it out of the water. So that one's a little worrisome, but there's a lot of money stacked up there at that 450 mark, so I wouldn't stress too much. And we have a little bit of time on that contract expiration, so we'll definitely keep watching that in the Discord. Back to you, Andrew.
Yeah, Goldman Sachs, right? With these big money plays as well, they can enter and then some news can come out and then they can hop out. But we have delayed data. We won't know until the day after they hop out. So definitely be careful with GS here because they could have stop lost out. And we'll be sure to check on Monday because that's the soonest we'll be able to check if big money's still in this. But looking back at this SBUX play, right? Like Landon said, these contracts did move very nicely. It does have an expiration of January 17th, 2025. So there's definitely more room to run in the short term here as well. But, ideal entry would have been when we called it yesterday in our Discord. But, if you didn't get in here, we'll reevaluate on Monday, especially with the CEO resigning or the director resigning. It can definitely bring bearishness in the short term. And then we can reevaluate and seek entry there if you guys do want to play this. So be sure to join our Discord for the latest updates on all of these plays because, we can update you guys during the day if you're in the Discord, but if you're watching the video, the market's already closed, moves have already happened and whatnot. So I would definitely recommend joining the Discord. So for our earnings today, we had SMFG before open and Esla. Don't really know what these companies are, to be honest with you. And got some penny stocks here also reporting. So we'll take a look at next week, right? Next week, it's a little bit interesting. It kind of gets interesting. We have Neo before open on Thursday. I'm going to be watching this very closely. Neo for the long term is really nice. So getting some entry here for some shares if, their earnings are not that good would be great. Toyota is reporting on Tuesday. So definitely watch Toyota here. Toyota is a very, very big company, so they can have a nice move, some nice area to pick up some long-term shares, just keep an eye on it. And we could even trade this too. Earnings will bring volatility, hopefully, depending on how the earnings work out. But, guys, just do not trade earnings. I do not recommend it. It is literally gambling. You could lose a lot or you could win a lot, right? So just be careful if you do want to trade earnings. I do not recommend it. Landon does not recommend it. And it has definitely burnt us before. So just be careful here. But other than that, it's pretty boring earnings week. I mean, Lulu, I guess on Wednesday after close, but other than that, not a whole lot going on. Looking at our economic calendar for this week, we don't really have a lot going on, right? The S&P Global U.S. Manufacturing PMI comes out. That has the highest. So 3 stars has the highest volatility. So this has the highest chance to affect the market. 2 is moderate, 1 is low, obviously. ISM Manufacturing PMI. That I don't think will really affect the market too much, but we can definitely watch it. Non-farm employment change will affect the market pretty nicely. ISM non-manufacturing prices, initial jobless claims. Now this will move the market pretty heavily if it comes in hot, right? So we'll be keeping an eye out on Thursday for that. And then average hourly earnings and non-farm payrolls on Friday for May. So kind of a boring week compared to other weeks we've had. We do have some things that have the potential to move the market, but it's not as much as like PCE data or PPI or anything like that. It's more relaxed, even though it does have the chance to have high volatility. So we'll just keep an eye on it and not worry too much about it. But that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the Trading Table. This has been Andrew and Landon. Be sure to join our free Discord. Link is in the description. And I hope you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for our Q&A.